Hello, Linda here. So today I'm going to share my Hobonichi 2023 purchases, what I have decided that I will use for the next year, and hopefully it doesn't change from now until the new year starts. I purchased my Hobonichi items from a local shop here in Italy. It's called Stilo e Stile. It's like a fountain pen shop, and they also stock Hobonichi and Traveler's Company and like Midori items. So I really like ordering from them because I don't have to worry about custom fees and things like that, and it's local in the country, so it just makes it easier. So when you order a Hobonichi Techo, you get the little flyer that sort of gives an introduction about the Techo, and inside it gives you examples of how people have used them. And normally it's in Japanese, but this year, because there is an English edition of The Cousin and The Weeks, I received also that little booklet in English, which is great, because I can actually read it. And because Tomoe River paper is changing in 2024, they've also included these little miniature versions of the monthly calendar and daily pages so that you can try out this new paper that is going to affect the cousin and I think all of the books except for the weeks in 2024. And then the year after that, I think the weeks will change as well. And so that's why they've included that. And they also have paper packaging this year, which is a new thing, which is great. I think it's companies should always be trying to move towards doing things that are better for the environment. So I'm keeping those so I can journal. And let me just move on into the different covers and books that I got. So this pink cover is actually from the 2021 lineup, and I already had this with a Hobonichi notebook inside where I sort of doodled like brush pen type of things. I think it was for an Inktober back in, it must have been 2021. And I've kept it in here, and I'm sort of not sure if I should use the other side of the paper as well, rather than only using one side, even though there is a bit of ghosting from this like brush pen. But I might continue to using the other side of the paper so that I don't waste the notebook. But because I already had this cover, I also decided to pick up an A6 day free for 2023, and I stuck it in this existing cover that I had to sort of supplement this whole doodling habit. My thought is that since it's a day free, I can sort of just do free doodling, whether it's a daily habit in the monthly calendar or just sort of like whenever I feel like it on the numbered pages afterwards. That's my thought anyway, something about inking, drawing, doodling, that kind of thing. So that's what this A6 day free 2023 is going to be used for. And I've always wanted to get a day free. I've actually never gotten one before. So it was just sort of the perfect opportunity. And this is still in Japanese, because I think that's the only version that they have for this year. So it has all of the traditional Japanese quotes and everything in Japanese, and the ending pages obviously in Japanese. And the cute thing about the day free is that there's illustrations at the very bottom right hand corner, and if you flip through the whole book, the illustrations actually sort of animate like a flip book. So I think it's just like a cute little detail that Hobonichi always does for the day free. It's just really adorable, and obviously takes a lot of work, right? Because the illustrator has to create all of those little illustrations, and every year it sort of changes in theme and artist. So I believe the artist this year is 100% orange, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just really cute. So that is my plan for this A6 day free journal. I'm just going to be doodling like in black ink, drawing, practicing, like keeping up that art habit. Obviously there's like dated monthly calendars in the beginning, so I don't know if I'm going to make it like a very small daily doodle kind of thing, and then just sort of like free, maybe like join in Instagram challenges or something like that for the other undated pages. And we'll see what happens. Obviously, the undated pages are numbered. So if I sort of flip to the end, there's like 170 something, I believe. And by the way, I'm gonna cut in right here and note that even though things are in Japanese and people are always like, oh, I can't read it, it's annoying, and they like cover it up with washi tape and stuff, if you use Google Translate, you can translate everything in that way. So I'm just inserting a couple screenshots from my phone when I was translating the Japanese version of this little flyer. So obviously the translation is not going to be perfect, but you definitely get a pretty good gist of things. So just a little tip, like if you're wanting to know what the Japanese writing is, you can definitely just use your Google Translate app and get that information. So on to the good stuff. The totally new covers and books for 2023. I got Tropical Yellow Hobonichi Weeks, and this is just the regular size, and the Light in the Distance cover on cover that you see over the yellow. And then I got this A5 cover with the English version of the Hobonichi cousin. And I don't want to butcher like the names, and you can probably obviously you can find this all on the website, but basically this A5 cover is called Hedelmäpuu by Eri Shimatsuka, and she's a Japanese designer, but she lives in Finland, so that's why the name is in that way. And so I just fell in love with the design and the colors, like totally loved the pastel-y and the like minty green inside, and the pastel-y sort of like colors of the fruits on the front, but they're like bold and saturated, and that lush green like of the leaves, totally love that as well. So had to get this cover. Like as soon as I saw this in the lineup, like I pretty much knew like, oh, I had to get that. And the cool thing this year is that there is the English version of the cousin, so I went ahead and got that as well. That way you don't have to do the whole translate thing. You can already read everything. And there's definitely some differences in terms of the English version, because they've changed it to obviously not just for everything to be in English in terms of the labels and text inside, but they obviously realize that this is for an international audience. So there are definitely changes to what's inside as well. But let's jump into the weeks, and let me just do a quick flip so that you could see what is different. And I'm sure there are others who have done this before, but in a nutshell, everything obviously is in English, labeled in English, and instead of having the Japanese important dates or holidays, it has a blank spot for you to write in, and then it goes through all the months starting in December, and of course everything labeled. And they included still Japanese in some parts, so it sort of still keeps that Hobonichi, look. And the months go from December until January, February, March of 2024. And so when you get into the actual weeks, it starts in like that Thanksgiving week of November, because it's starting with December. And then it just goes through all the weeks. and the quotes are in English, and of course there's only one quote per week. And I did do like sort of a comparison myself, and it seems like they are the same quotes that would be in the cousin, but obviously it's a smaller subset of the quotes, since the weeks only has one quote per week, whereas the daily pages of the cousin would have a quote every single spread, right? So you get all of these weeks all the way until the end of the year exactly, and this December 31st is like a Sunday, so it ends up perfectly on the end of the week. And then afterwards there's a useful abbreviations page, a notes index page, and then a bunch of blank note pages that again are numbered. And when I look at it, there's like about 75 or 74 of these note pages. 75. And then there are also the informational pages at the very end, that these used to all be in Japanese, but now it's in English. So there's like that measuring, a page about measuring, using things around you to measure, and it gives you a little centimeter sort of paper ruler on the right hand side. And then there is a favorites sort of spread, my top, like my 100 spread, my favorite things, which actually has really interesting like prompts for what would be your favorite things. And then it has this article about what does it say? How to better enjoy conversation, which I think is interesting. It's like after COVID, we need to like relearn basic skills. And then there's a 365 days checkoff sheet for any kind of challenge you want, and then the address page, and I'm covering up my personal information there. And that's it. And that is the Hobonichi weeks. Now I'm going to go through and quickly sort of go through this English version of the cousin. And same idea of how everything is obviously labeled in English now instead of Japanese. So you get like the yearly calendars, you get this sort of like index type of yearly calendar pages, and then it starts the months in December again. It goes through every single month and goes all the way to January, February, March of 2024, just like the weeks. And then it jumps right into the weekly pages. And the weekly pages start in like the last week of December into January, so you don't get like extra like December or extra months afterwards into 2024. The weeks, these vertical weeks, are literally just the 2023 weeks, all grouped in this section here. And then when you get to the very end, because the end of the year actually ends on a Sunday, then you get this spread that says turning the page to a new year, that a lot of people use for like journaling before they start the new year, or maybe a vision board or a mood board, that kind of thing. And then you get into the daily pages, which every month has like an opening daily page, and then one page for every day. And again, English quotes. The colors match the original Japanese version in terms of the fact that every month changes like color. And then it just goes through all of these daily pages until you get to the very end. And again, this year, December 31st, you get to the end, and then you have just a couple of blank grid pages, just sort of extra. Not very many. It's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know, like 7 pages or something like that, before you get to these ending pages that again used to be in Japanese and now they're all in English, for you to write up similarly to the weeks, like different favorites and things like that. But it is like slightly different for the cousin, because the first sort of, I don't know what you call these pages, like general pages. The first one is actually a timetable, so I guess it's good for like academic and things like that, where you might want to put a schedule or maybe your ideal week or something like that. Then there's like a graph paper page and a favorites page and I don't know what the graph paper page would be for, but I'm assuming, oh, I think it's like a tracker. And then favorites page, and then the top 100, and my favorite things. Again, this is the same as the weeks. So my favorite things and how to better enjoy conversation is in both. But then there's words to remember. There's the 365 days checkoff sheet. Then there's a gift part, and then addresses, and then your personal notes, meaning all of the normal information and Hobonichi information is the very last page. So again, there's like some overlap of those informational pages at the end with the weeks, but the cousin has more. And again, this year, because I've gotten both of these versions in English, so I can read the quotes and not have to like translate them with my phone, which I did used to do, even if the translation might be like slightly wonky. And this is me trying to find like the duplicate quotes, and it doesn't really match up perfectly, so I don't know how they chose like what quotes to include in the weeks and what quotes, like what subset of quotes they have chosen to put into the weeks, because it's obviously less. But I did see a repeat at some point, so I think that they are, technically the same set of quotes. It's not like the weeks have like a brand new set. At least I don't think so, but I think that they don't happen at the same time, so even if you're using both the cousin and the weeks, you're probably not going to remember like exactly which quote happened where, and it'll just be a reminder. So in terms of the A5 Hobonichi cousin, I don't use it as a planner. I actually use it as a memory keeper. So I'm still in progress of trying to think like how I'm going to document different things in the monthly, the weekly, and the daily pages. Previously, I used to mostly just do the daily pages, so I'm still trying to figure that out. And then the weeks is going to be like a health, self-care kind of tracker type of book. So these are my 3 different books from Hobonichi for this year, and hopefully I'm not going to add anything else because there's so many other releases and other things coming up as well, so I really need to watch for that. So that's it. So thanks for watching my video. My name is Linda, and I blog on tortagialla.com, and if you visit my blog there, you can actually get a whole bunch of free printables that I've posted. Every single post will have a link to the associated printable that is available for download, and you don't have to sign up or anything like that. It's just in the post, so lots of pattern papers and stationery and things like that that you can download and use digitally or print out to use in your journaling. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching my video.